Yes. Welcome, everyone, once again to the High Noon Ham Show. Of course, us being live means it's noon Eastern Time on a Wednesday. Where are we live, you ask? Well, thank you for that question. We're live on the Facebook page of Hemptations Beach, also the Jedi Hemp YouTube channel, and at Hemptations on Twitter. If you don't want the video, either live or on demand, there's a podcast version as well for you travelers or people like to work out while hearing about hemp information and stuff like that. You can do that as well. Search the High Noon Hemp Show on Podbean, Google Play, and iHeartRadio. You can find us everywhere, as always. I am Stoner Jesus. You can search me on the interwebs to find out what I'm up to. He is the man himself, high above the Hemptations in Sharonville at the Hemp Quarters Beach. How are things this week, and how is your health this week in the world of Hemptations?
I am back. I am back to normal, I think, yes. Although I was vaccinated, we did, in fact, get the COVID. It was very mild. I think because we were vaccinated, the side effects were very mild. My smell and taste went away, but it did come back pretty quickly. So luckily, I am back high above the Sharonville location in the Hemp Quarters for the High Noon Hemp Show. Got a lot of stuff out there. Missing a couple weeks. We're missing a lot of stuff, and so we will get to all of that. Forgot to turn my heater off. If you can hear, it's of course it's getting warm outside. It might be the last day for that. So I suppose we should all be thankful for this here in the Cincinnati area. The only thing really local, which I thought was interesting, is apparently 5 years ago, the Viking Exhibit was here at the Cincinnati Museum. Why is this important in the hemp world, Beach, you say? Well, they actually had an interactive screen that you could go and you could come up with an outfit, put a whole outfit together, traditional Viking outfit at the time. You could pick a shirt made from hemp. You could pick pants made from hemp. Hemp was an option for the outfit. And so I think the coolest thing about it is the fact that hemp wasn't left out, even though it was a huge part, obviously, of the Vikings' history and travel. I'm sure they used it in their sails. You could probably, and I believe, probably designed a ship and picked a hemp sail for it as well. And so, hemp is a huge part of the world's history. Over the last 10,000 years or so, as we domesticated it, again, possibly one of the first agriculturally domesticated plants out there in the Fertile Crescent was hemp, and then it spread for all its multiple uses, whether it was food or clothing or whatever it may be. It's been used for years, and so that was kind of cool. I was actually watching it on the news. I'm pretty sure they were showing someone on the news putting an outfit together, and you could clearly see the hemp part of it.
I think I speak for everyone when I say that hopefully one day the "What Are You Wearing" Beach segment will feature Beach in a full hemp Viking outfit.
Traditional Viking outfit.
That's right.
Again, we will add that to the what are you wearing, Beach? Demands. I mean, there are plenty out there still, and I hope to fulfill them all someday.
It's been 3 years.
Waiting for a runway show. It's true. It's true. Oh, it is true. Well, look for that, folks. Maybe in the future, we'll see.
That's right.
Let's get on with the product spotlight. Got plenty of news this week, but this first one we got a fresh batch in, and these are new to Wilfred's. We love our Wilfred products, but we have 3 new blunts, and then they're also making diamond sauce, which is kind of dab oil kind of, and this is Delta 8. These are Delta 8. They just came in the last week or so. The next one we've had for a while, it's still on the shelves and people are still loving it, is the Just Hemp natural soap. And this does have CBD in it. And so, it's good for the skin and, for, again, like even if you use it as a soap, I don't know how much it would really work as its anti-inflammatory principles and whatnot, but it's great for the skin. Hemp oil is, and CBD as well. Um, Full line of hemp division teas these days. These are, can find a tea that you will like, A, the taste of, and B, probably the milligrams of CBD, because these range from about 15 milligrams of CBD to up to 25 milligrams of CBD, depending which one you want there. And again, they're all different, kind of a different flavor breakdown as well, depending on what you're looking for, because there's other good stuff in those. Like I was saying, this may be the last day of nice weather, totally nice weather. It's supposed to get really cold this weekend. So here in Cincinnati, we're breaking out to cold weather. No better time to get yourself a jacket. This is the jackets that are in the Sharonville location. We have them in all locations. The best, of course, place to go for selection is, in fact, in Sharonville. But we can get coats anywhere. We've got coats out. If you see one you like, you don't have the size of, we can check on that and maybe get it to your location if you so desired. I might start putting these, just even start listing these on the website, just as, one out. So here's an extra large. We have multiple sizes of multiple jackets, so I should do that. So hopefully in the next week or two, maybe I need to get back to boosting the inventory. Maybe for the holidays, I'll start working on that. We'll see what happens. So there's 4 from the store, as we like to say. The one from my door is it's a very popular hemp paraphernalia, I should say, but it's a book called The Reign of Law, and this is my best copy. It is a first edition. It is also printed on hemp paper. Some copies were printed on hemp paper, some weren't. This particular version of The Reign of Law, A Tale of the Hemp Fields, Kentucky Hemp Fields, is in fact printed on hemp paper. I will have to say that, it's kind of terrible. I have not read the book. I've probably had this copy for a very, very long time, and I feel like I sat down to read the book and it just didn't grab me. But someday too, I will read, so I can at least paraphrase more than it's just the Kentucky Hemp Field tale. It might be there might be, some good stuff in there. I just don't know that. So maybe I'll take it to the beach next year, to the boat, and read it. But this is a part of my personal collection, my hemp copy of The Reign of Law. So there you have it, folks. 4 from the store, 1 from my door, here on the High Noon Hemp Show.
Now, I know people over the last couple of weeks, they've been clamoring, they've been lost, they've been wandering the streets nude or in non-hemp clothing at the very least, because they haven't had the guidance that they need, that they come to expect every week from Beach. We're back at it this week. It's the beachwear segment, the best segment in internet history. I still have not been proven wrong about that. I asked Beach a very important question, and he gives me a very important answer. And we do it right now. What are you wearing, Beach?
Yeah, that's right. If you're wondering, what I would wear to celebrate the start of Kentucky basketball season.
That's right.
Now you will know. I didn't wear my favorite Kentucky basketball shirt because I wore that yesterday because we opened the season with a huge game against Duke. We did not win, but we put on a good outing. They didn't beat us by 40 like I think the last time we opened the season by playing Duke did. And so that's a good sign. It's awful tough to ask these young kids to come out and play such a great team right out of the gate. But they played a great game, honestly, hung with Duke. And so it's helpful. But this is one of my big blue outfits. Either way, got my Vaboom hat on the head, Hoodlam hemp jacket, as well as a Hoodlam hemp shirt. Got my Kentucky Hemp Outfitter jeans, my favorite jeans in the world. I have about 80 pairs of these. No. Hempy's belt. If you look closely, I moved my Green Spring technology pen to the outside so everybody can see that I carry that with me every day as well. Got some Hemptopia briefs and Satori canna-leaf socks with the big blue leaf. I call it just the big blue leaf pair. And my Rackle shoes. So there you have it. If you wonder, what do you wear to open the season? This is pretty close to what I had on yesterday. And so now you know, A, that yes, I am a huge Kentucky Wildcats basketball fan, and B, I can dress accordingly for the games in the big blue color. The big blue color. All right, let's get on to the news, man. Some good stuff. Just when you thought Texas was doomed for Delta 8, guess what? A judge in Texas said, guess what? That last judge doesn't know what he's talking about. So there. So now there is, in fact, they have stopped the Delta 8 ban in Texas, as far as I know, on this judge's orders, because it wasn't legal. It was not legal for the state of Texas to include Delta 8 in their controlled substance list, so to speak, if it's derived from industrial hemp. So good for the judge, and I believe it was in Austin, which makes sense. I think if they were ever going to find a cannabis-friendly judge, it would be in Austin. So good job, Judge. You did the right thing. For now, I believe Delta 8 is now back legal again in the state of Texas. So check into that for sure before you go selling or buying, I suppose. But good for them. This is an interesting twist, and I think we'll see more of this as time goes along. But Canadips, which is a dip meant to, so you can stop dipping tobacco. It was CBD flower originally, or just hemp flower originally. Now they're getting into the THC game, so they're going to start adding THC to the Canadips. So, you don't see very often. We're seeing a lot of people moving from the THC side of business when it comes to cannabis to the CBD side and all the other cannabis. But here's a CBD company that's making the move to THC, and good for them, as well. If we can sublingually take in THC like we can CBD. See, THC is one of those things with, my understanding is it has to be decarbulated, I believe it's called, something like that, where it has to be heated up. But you can also make a tincture by soaking THC. So I don't know. There's some interesting things there as to how effective THC would be sublingually. I would hope that if it's processed, then it should be should work just like you want it to work. So good for them. For making a product that people can switch from a tobacco product to their product, which is the Canadips, which is the original. We should be selling them here, and I think they started in Europe, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, because anytime we can substitute something cannabis for tobacco, it's a better day. It's a better day. Hey, how about replacing plastic chairs? Something I would love to see. This particular company, Plantex, they are a Dutch company. They have made a plastic. I say plastic. It's not plastic. It's a composite, a biocomposite nonetheless, to replace. There is no petrochemicals in this plastic chair whatsoever. This is all made from hemp and some other stuff. So, that being the case, it should be biodegradable eventually. It should still last a very, very long time. Hemp composites rival 60 to 70 of the plastics made. And so a good thick hemp composite, should rival, in a good plastic chair that, of course, they still break too. And so I look forward to possibly getting somebody stateside making some hemp composite chairs. But for now, check out Plantex, a Dutch company. Nike. Nike tends to be releasing more and more shoes with hemp in them. Now, this one, although it looks hemp in color, the only hemp on this Nike is actually the interior of the shoe, which I think once again is kind of funny. So that cream colored stuff on the outside is not hemp, but the interior of the shoe is actually hemp fiber. And so once again, that's good because hemp fiber is naturally wicking. It breathes probably better than a synthetic fiber would, if that was the case. And so it's better for your feet, one way or another, probably. So good for them for doing that. I'm glad they're using hemp, just even if it's a little bit. This is going to be the newest Nike Air Max Tuned, it's called. On a better note, when it comes to hemp shoes, check out these Pumas. If I was going to choose, I'm going to go find a pair of these Pumas because these are not only made out of hemp, but biodegradable. And so Puma looking for, again, a very earth-friendly solution to footwear because, once again, a lot of footwear out there is not even close to biodegradable, and we're probably sitting in a landfill for 100 years with some of the plastics and whatnot that exist in them, or the synthetic materials that exist in them. Of course, that's great. If you buy a pair of shoes, you want the pair of shoes to last. And so, I'm not arguing, there is some a little bit of sustainability in buying a pair of shoes that's going to last a long time because you don't have to buy more shoes. That's for sure. But I really like these Pumas, because they're just really kind of plain looking, and I like that. I don't need exciting colors and stuff on my shoes these days, that's for sure. And again, a biodegradable choice for a shoe when you're finally done with it, because most people, I would believe most people throw away their shoes when they can no longer wear them. I know I just had to throw away a pair of old Nikes because they sat and they looked brand new, but all the glues broke down and everything fell apart almost instantly, which I thought, was pretty suki. But they were not hemp Nikes, and it just goes to show that actually the glues and whatnot can be as important. These look stitched, and so you can only hope that they would stay together longer. That's for sure when you stitch the sole to the shoe as opposed to just glue it on. Anyway, so yeah, check out those Pumas when you can. The BE, because this is actually, it's Be Well Company, but it's BE. These fine ladies are releasing a CBD cooking oils. And so it'll come in avocado, olive oil, margarine, and butter. That just goes to prove you could use our Hemptations CBD and hemp oil and probably add it to any of those. If you have an avocado or an olive oil or margarine or butter, you could probably add that right in there, mix it in, and would probably work as well if you wanted to. I love this. This is a family. It's got one aunt, two twin sisters, and some cousins all doing this. And so good for them. Once again, CBD will be added to almost every food product on the shelves in the next 5 years. You will be able to buy a food product of whatever it is you're looking for. Cereal, it doesn't matter. Does not matter. It's going to be in everything. Again, the reason, once again, the big companies aren't doing it yet is because the FDA is dragging its feet. But that didn't stop California from going ahead and changing their laws and saying, yes, it should be in food and drinks. And so whether the FDA wants to approve it or make it grass, generally regarded as safe, doesn't matter. We're still going to start seeing it show up in all these others. And again, all the big companies are just upset that the FDA won't do it because they don't want to touch it, which is good. again, we can still think pretty small, somewhat, and it's still a good time to be in a startup, so to speak, for CBD, because as long as the FDA drags their feet, the smaller guy wins, because we can still put it in CBD. We can still sell it in food and drinks. You just can't. Unfortunately, put on a label. CBD is, this daily value is what you get out of it, or whatever. No nutritional value, because the FDA has not approved it to do that. It can still be in there. You just can't label it with information about the CBD. And that's why you'll see a lot of times when it does mention anything about CBD, it will clearly say with an asterisk beside it, these statements have not been approved by the Food Drug Administration. And so, either way, that's where we are now. In an article, top 5 herbs to add to diet for healthy lifestyle. I love this, because if you look closely, you'll see in the middle, it's in the middle, so it's number 3, but they call it weed. And so, you've got these other. I'm not talking to you. Who's talking to me? And so, right there with oregano and sage and cilantro and whatnot, you've got weed. And they're not talking about THC. They're talking about industrial hemp, possibly CBD, as far as that herb, or just using the herb hemp for anything. And so I have never seen non-THC cannabis described as weed. And it's just hilarious, because it's like, it's all these common herbs. This person's like a doctor long list of stuff that they do anyway. And so kind of funny. One way or another, I just like the way they did that. But again, yes, it's a great herb to add to your diet, and you should, one way or another. Pangea is releasing some new denim products, including this jacket, which is actually quite cool. Now, I do believe, once again, they're in Europe. I don't know what's available in the United States, but I definitely like the looks of this one. And again, these guys are using the rain-fed hemp, that the fiber that's going around Europe right now. There's obviously a huge grower, and I know this because I have talked about it before on the show. These growers of just using rain-fed hemp, so no, they're not adding any water. It's just growing natural, and again, that keeps their cost down. So hopefully they can keep the cost of the fiber down to whoever's purchasing it as well. But definitely runs on that, and I would assume. And they don't say that, and I don't know why. I would assume that there are no chemicals used on it either. There's no reason to use herbicides or pesticides, so I don't know why they would. And so, again, what a great environmentally friendly fiber product, getting used more and more, as we can see across the world. Right now on Amazon, you can go to, you can find Purple. It's a brand, Purple, and the particular product that I found was the vegan blonde shampoo and hair conditioner. But they're using hemp seed and wild plum, and to quote, miracle bush foods containing antioxidants and omegas to boost hydration and make hair stronger. They are on sale on Amazon. And so again, the name of the product is Purple. I thought that was a mattress, but I guess you can. I guess since there's no confusion there between purple hair shampoo and purple mattresses, they're allowed to do that. I think it's interesting how purple is now a color for company names to use. Who else does that? Who else has a company name that's named after a color? And now we have more than one. More color companies to come, I'm sure of it. See, if you call it green and it's not green, then people would bitch. But you could just call your green mattress company, green hat company. Doesn't mean you're actually green. That's just the name of it. So, purple only, in my opinion, is, we always used to say it's the color of royalty. But anyway, now it's the color of shampoo and hair conditioner. I don't know if it's actually the color or not, but good for them for using hemp, because it is great for the hair and the skin, no doubt about it. I found an interesting article on a woman who was trying CBD tampons, and she basically felt nothing, which was actually good, because that's what she was looking for. She said that nothing, as in no side effects from her period. It was what she described as the first pain-free period in a long while. Once again, you don't have to go out and try to find that specific product. You could get some Hemptations hemp oil CBD and just drop some on there, and and see what happens. And so, again, it only makes sense. I feel like there's inflammation that affects that, and all kinds of things. And so, once again, maybe a solution for those women that experience really bad periods, and are looking for something natural, instead of using pain medicine or whatever, you know what I mean? And so, check that out, ladies. See if it can't help, one way or another. Grados, and I've shown these Grados headphones before. They're making a new pair, and these are like super expensive headphones. Just so you know, I wouldn't expect anyone to actually go out there and buy a pair of these. But they are using, I should say, still using. The new ones have hemp in them, as well, as far as the wood. So they're using hemp wood for their wood product in the headphones. And so, once again, super expensive headphones. Would like to see them a lot cheaper in their use of hemp wood in there. And I also like to see them use hemp fabric, like my hemp headphones, which are in fact hemp fabric across the top, as well. They should try to rebuild, and even those plastic pieces. How about making those out of hemp composite? So if you're going to make it that super expensive, you might as well go all out. Use hemp everywhere. But it's just another good use, I suppose. They're not getting as much money for their headphones because they're crap, I guess. That's for sure. I don't know who can afford a pair of them, but good for them. Hemplith, another great product coming out of Germany, this light building board. There you go. Again, it's coming out of Germany. You can go to, I believe, hemplith.com to check it out. If you're over in Europe, you're looking for hemp board for building material. Here it is in use on some projects. Again, Hemplith, so it's HEMPLITH is the name of is the trademark name of this particular board or company. And again, it's getting made in Germany. So if you're over in Europe and you want to do some hemp building, you can get yourself some Hemplith. And this last bit of news, once again, great news in my opinion. So we can go out on a quality note with the news. But this company, Biofill, which is actually located in Pennsylvania, is expanding. And again, they deal in fiber. Is expanding to meet the demand for fiber. There's this, once again, even the Department of Ohio agricultural hemp guy, which really didn't know anything. He was spouting about how people were having problems with growing and selling hemp fiber. Well, that is definitely contrary to what Biophil is saying, because Biophil is saying that we have to expand because of the demand. In the article, they said they get a call every day looking for quality hemp fiber. Okay. And so that means if you grow quality hemp fiber, there's a market for it. So remember the name Biophil. They're in Pennsylvania right now, but they are processing hemp fiber, and there's a couple of these places popping up across the country. But once again, they're expanding. They're already open. They've been processing fiber, but they're expanding because of the demand for hemp fiber that they are seeing. And so, way to go, Biophil, for A, processing hemp fiber, and B, trying to meet the demand that's out there. Again, I see we're starting to see a huge demand for the fiber in Europe. It seems like every week or so, there's some European company that's using fiber in their clothing one way or another. We're definitely seeing more demand for hemp fiber in clothing, period. Not just for its environmental purposes, but for its durability alone. Again, 4 to 6 times stronger than cotton. It's the strongest natural fiber on the planet. Natural. It was here before us, kind of. Yeah. There's still some debate there, I suppose, as to how old humans really are. But it was here a long time ago, and again, we have been developing and are still developing the purposes for industrial hemp. It was such a vital part of humanity and the growth of humanity that it's hard to believe that it has to make a comeback after 10,000 years, after 5,000 years, 2,000 years of being the process being used to make paper. And for 2,000 years or so, like 1,900 years, roughly, or so, most paper was made out of hemp. And then all of a sudden we decided we could cut down trees because there's so many trees in the world, we could cut them down and make paper out of them. What a huge mistake that was 100 years ago or so. That one singular stoppage of using hemp in a product, that one singular stoppage of using hemp in a product has devastated our planet. Just stopping making paper from hemp devastated our planet in the last 100 years. And that's just part of the Industrial Revolution, or whatever you want to call it. The cotton gin beat out the decortator. So you can say there's a little bit of an industrial reasoning for cotton being the stronger fiber, not stronger, bigger, more popular, hugely destroying our planet at the use of 30% of the chemicals at a time, where hemp doesn't need any of that and can obviously just be fed with rainwater. In certain parts of the world, we don't have to use water to grow it. You cannot do that with cotton. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I mean, maybe cotton's drought resistant. I know it destroys the soil because of the chemicals that are used on it. And then, you always hear the story of the amount of water it takes to make a hemp or a cotton t-shirt, because it has to be processed so much. Or again, hemp is these long fibers. Cotton are these tiny little fibers, and they ought to be woven together. It's a terrible idea. Terrible idea. So we take those two things. Honestly, if we were using hemp in our clothing like we were using cotton, and we used hemp in our paper like we used to before tree, man, our clothing would last a lot longer. We would have less clothing because we wouldn't need as much to buy. The planet would be so much better off. Just those two items. And then we talk about plastic. Oh my gosh, it's just amazing. So, I mean, again, I suppose, if I had all those wishes, if I could go back in time, I would change, a couple of those things. You come up with a parallel universe where hemp was never made illegal, where hemp was actually encouraged to be used in all the products that we were using it up to, 100 years ago, just 100 years ago, continued. Well, I don't think that global warming would be an issue. I mean, in that hemp parallel world, the skies are, clear, and we can breathe the air and drink the water, and so many other things, in all honesty. Um, and so that's the world we dream of. And those are my beach thoughts for this week. We got a little bit of events, not a whole lot going on. The big event in Brooklyn, New York, November 12th, the Sip, Smoke, and Paint, CBD and Happy Times Entertainment's putting that on in Brooklyn. That is November 12th. November 13th, you've got the Green Balance Hemp Fest in Griffin, Indiana. November 20th, you have an intensive farmer training class in North Branch, Minnesota. I've been talking about Minnesota a lot. If you're in Minnesota and you're thinking about growing hemp, you might want to take the intensive farmer training class. And that's at the Women's Environmental Institute in North Branch, Minnesota. December 1st through the 3rd, finally, Hemp at the Crossroads. It's been waylaid for a couple years in Plainfield, Indiana. That's coming up soon. February 28th through the March 1st, you've got the 4th Annual Industrial Hemp Summit. It's going to go virtual this year, so you don't have to plan too far ahead. It's at the Advanced Learning. It's going to be broadcast, obviously, from Danville, Virginia. And then I just saw that NOCO in Denver was announced March 23rd through the 25th. So there you have it, folks. Thanks, everybody, for watching the High Noon Hemp Show. I think we're hopefully going to get back to our regularly programming schedule. So we'll be back next Wednesday at high noon on all these places: Facebook, Temptations Beach, Jedi Hemp Channel, Twitter, I think. Are we still? And again, the podcast will be available later if you want to do that. I sure appreciate everybody watching or listening now and or later. And remember, reduce, reuse, recycle, make everything else out of hemp. Having Temptations.
See you all next week.